Okay, here we go. All right, can you guys see that okay? All right, so we're talking about inequalities, okay? And if you think about the word, what does equality mean? Equal, right? They're the same, okay? Inequality means not equal. And the way that we express not equal in this case, greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to, okay? So we're looking for this, this, and this. Okay, those are the four signs we're going to see here. You won't have an equal sign today. Okay? But we're going to treat it like an equal sign. Okay? All right, so we're going to have one step. Now, think back to one-step equations. Do you guys remember doing one-step equations? Those are easy, right? Okay, we're going to treat, these are one-step inequalities with addition and subtraction. And we're going to treat these the exact same way as we did when we had one-step equations. Okay, those are easy, right? So what we're going to do, but the only thing is in addition to this, we're going to be graphing them on a number line. Okay? So let's go ahead and let's look at some examples here.
Is that a D step?
One step inequalities. Okay, first thing that we're going to learn how to do. Okay, before we even worry about one step and we're going to learn about how to graph. Okay, so when you graphing an inequality on a number line. Okay. Now, what we're going to do, we'll start with a number line here. Okay. If I've got a number line right here, okay, and we'll put some points on it. Let's say this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we'll have -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. Okay. Now, if you ever get into a problem where you have to draw your own number line, you only have to draw it big enough that it fits your largest number, okay, or your smallest number. Does that make sense? Okay. So I wouldn't have to draw this all the way out to 350. Okay, it wouldn't make sense for me to do that, right? A lot of wasted space. Okay. So let's say that I have an inequality that looks like this. X is greater than 4. Okay. Now, before we graph this, okay, there's some things we need to keep in mind. These are the rules for graphing an inequality. Okay, if I have this sign or this sign, meaning I have less than or greater than. Are you guys paying attention? Are we paying attention? Okay, we're going to use an open circle. An open circle, okay? An open circle, and I'll show you exactly what this means. Okay, first of all, what does this say? What does this inequality say? X is what? Say it together. X greater than 4. What is X? X can be anything as long as it's what? Greater than 4. So what I'm going to do, now this is not or equal to, this is just less than or greater than. So I'm going to go to 4 over here, and I'm going to make a circle, and I'm going to keep it an open circle. Okay? Now on this number line, I'm going to make an arrow pointing to which side would represent X. Okay? Would I point this way? No. Because everything this way is what? That's not what I'm interested in. I'm wanting to point this to the direction that is greater than what? 4. So which direction would this go? Like that. Okay? Now let's take a look at another one. Let's say I have this inequality. Let's say X is less than or equal to -1. Now this time, do I have just a greater than or less than? No. I have an or equal to. So when we did greater than or less than, we used an open circle. What do you think we're going to use if we have or equal to a closed circle, okay? So if you have this or this, use a closed circle. Okay, so I'm going to go to -1, and what am I going to do at -1? What am I going to do? I'm going to put a closed circle. All that means is you color it in. Okay, does that make sense? Now let's think about this. What does x have to be? Read this inequality to me. 1, 2, 3, go. X is less than or equal to -1. So which of these sides, which direction would my arrow go? Is this side less than -1? Or is this side less than -1?
Wait, right.
Did you guys have a question?
Yeah.
What's that?
Why did we close the circle?
Because it's or equal to. Because it includes -1. Okay? So, should I go this way?
No.
I should go this way. And anything that's in that direction, pick a number that's in that direction. Jose, pick a number over here.
-3.
If I put -3 in place of x, is -3 less than or equal to -1? It is. Okay, so anything that's in that direction, I can pick any one of those points that should be true. Okay, does that make sense what we did?
Yeah.
Okay, let's try another couple. I want you guys to graph these, okay? I'm going to say 0, yes.
So on our
Draw this number line, please.
book, are we just gonna have the number line and then have to?
Sorta, yeah, you'll see. Okay, I'm going to give you an x is less than 5. Okay, graph that inequality for me. In your notes, graph that inequality for me. Anybody? Okay, Jackson, what am I going to put on 5? Open or closed circle? Open. Do you guys agree? Okay, open circle. At 5, Chase, which direction is my arrow going to go? To the left or to the right?
To the left.
Because everything to the left represents what? Less than 5. Okay, so if I go this way, anything over here is going to be what? X is less than 5, right? If I pick a point over there, Braden, pick a point anywhere over here.
1.5.
Okay, 1.5. If I replace this x with 1.5, is that a true inequality? It is. Okay, so I did it right. Okay. Question, Jeremy.
If x is less than 5, shouldn't the circle be at 4?
No, because the circle is where we start. Okay. And the reason it is open, okay, is because we don't include 5. Because is 5 less than 5? No. So anything outside that circle this way is less than 5. Does that make sense? And the reason, did you give me a dirty look? You just gave me a dirty, yes you did.
No, I didn't. I just looked at you.
She mad dogged me. Okay. The reason we use a closed circle is because it includes that point. Because or equal to means that point is also included. Does that make sense? Make sense?
You're the best, Mr. Christie.
Whatevs. Okay, let's try this one. Try this one. 6 is greater than or equal to x. Now this.
Oh, I know this one.
Okay.
No one knows.
Teeter, what should I graph? Where should I start? Circling, so closed circle, is that what you were, okay. So closed circle at 6, okay. Now, which way is my arrow going to go? What does x have to be?
Lower.
Everybody, read that inequality to me right now, go.
6 is greater than or equal to x.
6 is greater than or equal to x, so that means x has to be what? Lower than 6, so which direction is lower?
Down, left.
This way.
Wait, so say the thingy was going the other way.
Why is it going
It was
down?
like flip. So we have to go higher? Oh.
Okay, guys, if you read this, you have to listen to what you're saying. Listen to what I'm saying. 6, say that,
6
is greater than
is greater than
or equal to
or equal to
whatever x is.
whatever x is.
So if that's telling me 6 is greater than, that means that whatever x is has to be lower than 6. That's why we go that way.
Wait, whatever X is?
Whatever x is. Does that make sense, guys? Okay. Now, before I got to move to the next part. Do we understand how to graph an inequality on a number?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Let's move to the next part. Oh yeah. Now, when I have a one-step inequality, okay? For example, let's say I have this. X is greater than, just kidding, x plus 3 is greater than 10. Okay? And I'm going to have a number line down here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Draw that. Draw that. Draw just what I just drew. Okay. Now, remember what I said about one-step inequalities. You treat them just like one-step say it, equations, okay? So I want you to treat this like two terms. This is not an x plus 3. This is like an x and a what? Positive 3. Can I combine these over here? They're not what? They're not like terms. So I have an x and a positive 3. How do I get rid of a positive 3? Now, just like in the equal sign, whatever I do to one sign, I have to do to the other. So I'm going to get rid of this 3 by doing what? Take away 3, and I also do what? Okay, so what happened to these guys? They canceled. So what's left over here? X. This inequality sign just comes down. It's exactly the same. So x is greater than, what's 10 minus 3? 7. Can we graph that?
Yes.
Graph it.
7.
So I go to 7, and is it open or closed, peeps? Open. Which direction is it going to go?
Right.
What do I know? X has to be what?
Right.
X has to be right.
Greater than.
X has to be
Greater
greater than 7. Which direction is greater than?
Right.
That way. Now let's see if it's true. Talia, pick a point over here.
8.5.
Let's just say 8. Okay? And we're going to plug in 8 for x. 8 plus 3 is greater than 10. What's 8 plus 3?
11.
Is 11 greater than 10?
Yes.
So did we choose the correct direction?
Yeah.
Yes, we did. Okay, do we understand this now? Now, of course, are we good on this? Does everybody have that copy down?
Yeah.
Okay, let's try another one.
So we
Okay.
have to add it after that sign.
Or subtract it, it depends. Okay, here's what I have. Try this one. 6 plus y is less than or equal to negative 9. And on our graph, we're going to start with negative 19 and go to 11. I'm going to go the other way.
Wait, negative 19 goes to 11.
Mm-hmm. Now, on your assignment, I think your number lines are provided for you. Okay. So, I've got an inequality here, right? Before I can graph this, I have to solve what the inequality was. Well, how do what's over here? I have a 6 and a what? What's over here, guys? What kind of 6 is this? It's a positive 6, and I need to get rid of this so this y is by itself. How do I get rid of a positive 6? I have to do a minus 6, and I have to do a what over here? A minus 6. Okay, what happened to these? Those canceled. What's left over here? Now, y is less than or equal to, what's negative 9 and a negative 6? Negative 15. Okay. Now, before we graph, There's one right here. It's all good, man. Go ahead. So before we graph, I'm gonna first locate what on my graph, on my number line? Negative 15. And what am I going to put there? Closed circle. Because this is what? Okay, so I'm going to put a closed circle right here. Which direction?
Right.
What does y have to be, Sailor? What does y have to be?
It has to be less than negative 15.
Less than negative 15. Now, which direction is that going to go? Or equal to? It's equal to because I closed my circle. Left?
Left.
Yeah, Mr. Percy. Right. Right.
Hmm?
I think you have it backwards.
Yeah, I'm very confused.
Who's saying right?
Have what backwards?
Your number line. Look at the board. 0 is closer to the negative 11 than the negative 19.
Yeah,
so
okay.
it would be backwards.
That's okay, though. We can still go there.
Yeah, it's left.
Okay, so, oh, it's because some of you guys wrote the negative 19 here. That's why. Yeah. But if this was a full number line, this 0 would all be all the way up here. It would be okay. So which direction should I go?
Well, on yours.
Right.
Okay. Do you have to think about this? Let's talk about this for a second. Say it. Why? Say it. Why?
Less than.
Is less than or equal to what?
Well, on yours it's right, but on ours it's left.
Okay, so which direction would this go?
Right.
This way.
Well, on
Okay.
yours it's right, but on mine it's left.
Okay, so some of you wrote your graphs a little bit differently. I see what you're saying. Okay, just pay attention to what your graph is. But do you understand how that works? Okay. Now, what's different if I gave you this problem? Let's say I had said y plus y plus 0.4 equals, or is less than or equal to, negative 9.6. Okay, so I'm going to have my graph start. Well, let me look and see how they put the graphs on this assignment. Okay, I guess they went different directions. So on this graph, they have negative 13, negative 12, negative 11, negative 10, negative 9, negative 8. Okay, so if this is the type of graph we have, which is fine, we just got to pay attention to what kind of graph they use. Okay, let's figure this out. Sailor, what am I going to do here? What do I have over there?
You're gonna put a dot on the negative 9.6.
No, I'm going to solve this inequality first.
Oh yeah, so it's you put the negative 0.4.
Uh-huh.
Cancels it out. So you do the same thing to the other side.
Okay.
That makes it negative 10.
Negative 10. Now, can I put 0.0, or is negative 10 the same as negative 10.0? Same thing, right? Okay. So what do I do on negative 10? Put what? Close circle.
Fill it in.
Okay, which direction? Which direction would be less than negative 10? This way. Good. Okay.
I have a cheat way to do it. The arrow on the top is the way that it points. Right.
Not always.
Oh, really?
Not always. Okay. All right, do we understand how this works now? No?
Yes.
Okay.